Have you ever heard of a show called Ewoks? Just a show called Ewoks. Well, alongside the show called Droids, there was another show airing alongside it in the mid-80s just called Ewoks. Now, I reviewed Droids a little while ago, and I talked about how that show gave me nightmares. And that stands to be kind of the logic is, would the show Ewoks be the same quality of Droids? Spoiler alert, no. It is slightly better than Droids, just by a little bit. Because I put the show off for a long time, because I thought it was going to be worse than Droids. Like, how can this be any good? And it's not good, but it's not insufferable. I watched like half of this show and it's not that bad. That could just be because I've seen so much terrible stuff that Star Wars has put out that I'm kind of sensitized to it by now, or maybe it's just actually kind of good. Something from the 80s and early 90s, oh my god, something's good. Holy crap. But yeah, I'm very surprised. This Ewok show, I'm surprised. It's very similar to the Smurfs. Have you ever seen that? Kind of the vibe. Like, it's very similar, somewhat of a premise. Like, there is this villain in Ewoks, but the villain doesn't really do that much in every episode. And there's like another group of villains that kind of have more screen time. So I think that's kind of weird, but the one thing I want to talk about is the planet of Endor. Now, if you've been on, watching my videos specifically on, like, Ewoks, they're on the planet called Endor. And that planet is terrifying as hell. And this show is no exception. It is terrifying. Every episode, they just say, like, all these different alien names, all these creatures that just pop out of nowhere. You have, like, different factions in Endor, like, different species that are, like, intelligent. You have these giant-ass creatures that all want to kill the Ewoks. It makes you wonder why the Ewoks even step on the ground if everything's trying to kill them. When it comes to, like, the characters, you have Wicket, who is the main character, and I thought that Wicket is going to be like this annoying, unlikable character, but he's not. The first episode, he is, and kind of follow that typical, like, kids cartoon. The kid does something bad, but at the end of the episode, he redeems himself in some way that doesn't really work, and yeah, he doesn't really get redeemed. But in the following episodes, they kind of, not go there anymore and actually do different stuff with the characters, which I like, and some of it is actually kind of adventure-based. They're going on quests, finding different places. There's a lot of different scenery. It's not just giant trees. There's a lot more to Endor than you think. It's different scenery. Like, it's basically, like, a lot of it's just, like, a regular forest. Like, the trees aren't, like, that tall, like, because in Endor, the trees are really tall, but most of the time, the trees are just regular old oak trees, but you do get, like, deserts. One episode, it snows. Like, there's actually a timeline in this show, because they talk about the winter, and they need to get food to, I guess, hibernate, I guess. You actually get to see the snowfall, and it's like, oh, they have a winter here. That's cool. You get to see all the different weather and creatures and stuff like that. It makes Endor more alive and terrifying in that regard, but it's cool. Now, the thing is that some of these episodes are kind of, like, unwatchable. They have the same kind of quality that the Droids show had, where it's just nothing for like 20 or so minutes. And I'm just sitting there, just my brain, losing brain cells in the process, but some of them aren't. I mean, they're not good, but they're not that terrible. Like, it's not bad, it's just kind of unwatchable, and the show doesn't suffer the same fate as Droids, because the Ewoks show weapons. Because you don't know, that in the 80s there was like a ban on weapons in kids shows, so they couldn't use like blasters. But in Endor, there are no blasters. They use spears, bow and arrows. I guess that's fine. But oh, God forbid a blaster. Oh no, you can't show that. But bow and arrow, yeah, you can show that. This show is also weird. Like, there's magic in this show. I would consider it to be the Force, but they don't say it, but it's clear that they are. I don't know why they can't. I'm guessing to the Ewoks, it's just magic. Like, there's a crap ton of magic that happens that only the Ewoks have. You know, animation-wise, it's actually really inconsistent. I'm guessing the episodes that they made them, or they just released them out of order. So some episodes look good for the 80s, as a Saturday morning cartoon, while others look terrible and really blurry, and like you can't really see what's going on sometimes, and it's really inconsistent. Even within the episodes that look good, some just look weird. Like it's not even like they're zoomed out or anything. It's literally just the same shot, but it looks different. It's like they worked on, like, it's like, I don't know, it's like they worked on that specific shot first, then the rest of the episode later in your development. It's really weird. And watching the episodes, it's weird. Because I'm not watching it out of order. I'm watching it in like the way the episodes are presented, and it's just, they look weird. Some of them, not all of them, but it's really inconsistent. And you can tell by my voice, I'm not like enthusiastic about this. Like I said, I've been putting this show off for a while because I didn't know what it was going to be. I thought this was going to be worse than Droids, but I'm surprised that's not. Like, oh, this should have been flip-flopped in the quality. Like, Ewoks should have been the worst show, but it's not. It's actually somewhat competent in what it's trying to do. I'm guessing because it's focusing on a part of Star Wars that isn't explored upon all that much. Having it being explored doesn't feel off-putting that it would be in Droids, where we're already seeing what the galaxy was in that point in the show, in the timeline of that show, in Droids. But in Endor, I don't know when it's taking place. You don't need to know. All you know that there's Ewoks on Endor, and they're doing some magic stuff, and they say Yub-Nub a lot. You know the word Yub-Nub? They say it like 10 times per episode. It's hilarious. I love it. But yeah, that's basically it. Like, the show isn't like it's decent. Also, with that being said, where do I actually rank this thing? Because, I mean, if I'm saying this show is somewhat decent, then where do I rank it then? So the first season of Ewoks goes above Droids Adventure, but below the Clone Wars movie. Like I said, this show is, it's decent. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just not, like, I would still consider this to be a bad show, but it's not unwatchable. Like, it's a weird way to describe this show, because there's effort clearly put into it, but it's not enough for me to put this higher up, so that's where I'm leaving it. I covered 50% of the show. Yes, this is another Star Wars show where there's only 2 seasons, so I don't know what to expect for next season. I hope it's the same quality, because if it's worse, then I'm gonna suffer again. But hopefully it's better or up to same quality, because I'll take it. You know, if it's not complete like garbage, then I'll take it at this point. So do you agree or disagree with what I have to say? Because I'm gonna go now. So goodbye, everyone.